So there's that memory. And then basketball. Oh, God. I needed glasses in high school, but I wouldn't admit it to myself. And one of the places I saw the worst was a gymnasium. I don't know, fluorescent lighting or something. And I was one of those kids, I call it the 20-20 rule. As long as we were 20 points ahead and there's only 20 seconds left, you know, then we might let them in briefly. And I couldn't see, and I'm not saying that's an entire excuse. I was incredibly self-conscious too, because we had these really old uniforms. And apparently people were smaller in the 50s, you know. We'd come running out of the gym looking like we were wearing body paint, you know. And so that helped intimidate other teams. They were like, I'm not sure if I want to. But here's where it gets worse for me, is we went to Encampment, Wyoming. And Encampment, I don't know what's wrong with, if you're here from Encampment, I apologize. I know you have a gun, so I'm sorry. I don't know, but we would go to Encampment, and they were rabid fans. Like, the winning or losing really didn't matter up there. We weren't in the same league, we were different states, you know, but they were crazy, and we blew them out, you know, and it was a wonderful feeling. And then, much to my surprise, I got put in the game. And there was what I would later find out what it was. In the middle of the floor was a tiger, because they're the Encampment Tigers. And it was painted on the floor, but with my poor vision, I thought it was somebody's winter coat. I wish this were not true. I wish I were making this up. So I would run down the floor and do a little plie over what I thought was a winter coat. And I was so delusional. I remember thinking in my head, I remember thinking like, I bet everybody thinks I'm pretty awesome because I have not once tripped over that coat. And I remember, I think it was like Clint Carlstrom one time threw me a ball and it bounced off my head, and I thought again, I was like, I didn't trip on the coat, you know, like. And I remember we were riding home on the bus, and I was waiting for everybody to shake my hand or say something, you know, like, wow, I was impressive. You know, you did shoot the ball into the rafters, but you did not once trip over that winter coat. Those Wyoming people are so ridiculous. And so I was sitting with Willie Gimmel, who I did the total hots for, and I was hoping to impress her. And she sat next to me, looking at me the kind of the way you would a disturbed child. And she sat next to me. She's like, Jared, you did well. And I was like, yeah, I didn't once trip over the coat. And I remember she kind of like slowly backed away. And that was it. I just saw my chances with her just drift like dandelion seeds. You know, she just backed away. But I still miss Walden. So I'm saying you will miss Walden. I really do. Yeah, and like your principal says, your principal's from Rangeley? Wow. Now, I don't know what it is with Rangeley. We'd play Rangeley in football, and the kids would have beards, like full beards, and it was weird. I don't know. They're all out of the can. You know, they have some thing there where you go to school for 2 years, you're in the can for 10 years, and you come out. And, you know, then they were vicious. I have no idea what it was. It was really weird. Beat the pants off us. But no, yeah. So as she said, I work in radio and I work in comedy, and you're probably wondering, is he going to inspire us at some point? You know. And I don't want to waste too much time doing that. And I say waste because I know you're not listening. You know, I know that you're looking up here. I thank you. I love your smile, Sergio. Work that. But I was once where you sat. And I remember our commencement speaker. He was bald. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure. You know, well, I'm screwed. I'm going to inspire others. You know, I don't know what that is. But all I remember is I remember tuning in and hearing him talk about Wilma Rudolph, the world-class runner. And he's telling this story. He said, you know, that she was a sickly child and she had leg braces, and those leg braces inspired her to become an Olympian. And the only thing I remember from graduation is hearing that and thinking, ah, crap, I have to get leg braces. So I know very well it could be lost on you, because as you deserve it, you want to go, you're ready, you know, you are ready. And here's something that you may not know. Everybody in this room wants to be you. I mean, no matter how much self-loathing and those waves of doubt you get in high school, everybody in here still wants to be you. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about drinking your blood and trying to live forever. Because you are cool. You are young, you are full of life, and we are, well, your parents at least are excited you're moving out of the house. But And I would hope, you know, they say that youth is wasted on the young. And you know what, it kind of is, because you really never know what you have until, you know, you're in traffic in Portland one day and you realize your hairline's receding. But I would, if I could just instill anything in you, and actually, let me not get to that part yet, but I would, if I were you, I'm a little hesitant to invoke the no fear strategy. Because I'm in Walden, and for some of you that might mean lighting some logs on fire and jumping over it with a pickup. But when I say no fear, I will hope that you, full of all this beauty and youth, will do what you want to do. And if you don't do something, please do not do it because you're intimidated. Not the least bit. I can't imagine any of you intimidated right now. Especially Brent, who kept storming up here. I don't know how much money, the IRS is waiting to frisk him at the door. But I love it, he comes up and does a speech about a bar game. That's brass, my friends. That's brass. But don't do it ever because you're intimidated. And it is easy, as we had discussed prior, that when you leave Walden, it's easy to get intimidated. Because no longer are the classes only 9, they are hundreds. Or wherever you go. Maybe you go to a workplace, and there's people everywhere, and you can see there's, you know, Miss Hottie Pantsuit there, and she looks like she runs the place. It's easy to get intimidated. That happened to me. I started in radio in Durango and Farmington, and then eventually moved to Portland and Denver, and I was oh geez, they're Denver and Portland talents. It turns out they were all rather overweight, over-caffeinated, cream-filled, Twinkie swilling people who had insecure issues just like anybody else. So, if I were to give you any advice, this is pretty heavy. I was a little reluctant to drop this on you so soon in your life. If I were to say anything to you today, it is this: everybody farts. Everybody farts. Everybody is a chair-scooting, dog-blaming, internal combustion issue of mess, okay? Everybody. You will go to school, maybe you're going to play sports, and here comes some tall dude, looks like he owns the world. Well, it's, you know what? I believe humanity, their entire role is to create a non-fart facade. So that we might look at them and be intimidated, when in fact we're just a bunch of blood and guts and a little bit of hope. So keep that in mind. Whenever you're at the edge of doing something that's kind of scaring you, you know, your heart is pounding like a sledgehammer and you're doubting yourself and the clouds are gathering, and here comes this guy in his suit ready to shake your hand for the first interview, just know what I told you, okay? And you know what he did when he went home that night? He's like, wow, I had this interview with this young lady, Destiny, and the whole time I was like, really? Did I have to eat that sausage? I mean, because it's all a facade. And I just want you to please remember that. Because people buy fancy cars and they have nice jewelry and they might talk fast or they might run fast, whatever. They still get pimples in strange places. They still have issues with the opposite sex. They still have problems with getting dog hair on their favorite shirt. I mean, everybody is just as screwed up as you already think you are. But let me be the first to tell you that you're fabulous. And you have an advantage over everybody because you know the little secret that I just told you. Which I'm not sure it's a secret, because you've all ridden in a pickup truck with your father.